the story I want to share is really from the early days of experimenting with AI, and that was I was invited by an NGO in working in Africa with street children, and I've told this story so many times, so apologies for those who've heard it before. But I was asked to do an evaluation, and this particular NGO that they were funded by UNICEF, and UNICEF measures success of programs for street children by how many kids can they get off the street. And this NGO, which worked both in Ghana, Mozambique, and Kenya, all kinds of places, couldn't get any kids off the street. So they didn't want an evaluation that showed a failure, i.e. measurements against what they were supposed to do, get the kids off the street. So we did, and I remember Jane was actually sort of coaching. This was one of my first experiments. Jane was coaching me through, so what do we ask, how do we do this, and so forth. And the organization agreed that we should let the kids evaluate their own project, and that in itself was a logistic experiment. You had to go into the slums and sit down with these kids who were, you know, petty criminals, sick, working, didn't have time to talk to you, and so forth. And I was a bit apprehensive about that. But the organization said to me, look, if you as a white woman come with us into the slums in the street, they will never have seen a white person venture into those areas. They will immediately come and talk to you, which was the case. And the organization wanted to find out what they did do, not what they didn't do. They wanted to give UNICEF positive information about the accomplishments that they had. So we basically sat on these street corners with market stalls and probably rabid dogs and smells and everything, talking to these kids. And we dared ask them, and this was really quite a daring question, and that was to ask the children what they enjoyed the most about living in the street. And that was definitely a no-go question in any context, because how can you enjoy anything about living in the street? As it turned out, they enjoyed a lot about living in the streets. They found everything that they didn't have. They came from broken homes. They had jumped on a bus and found themselves in this big city, couldn't get back. So they found love, they found care, they found comradeship, they found everything you would normally find in a family situation in the street. And we managed to produce a very powerful report. We also had meetings with UNICEF, and I think the incredible outcome was that the NGO decided not to work with UNICEF because they saw things different to what how UNICEF saw things. And they did manage to get lots of money from other donors by showing these incredible results that they did get. And I can speak about this for half an hour, but exactly what they were. But they met the children where they were and respected the reality of the children instead of coming in with judgments. And that changed a huge amount for me, and it changed a huge amount for this NGO, which is still going and going very strong. So hopefully there will be lots of kids, this is now 20 years ago or more, there will be lots of street children who've grown up as adults who at least know that they are doing something good and they're not always being judged. That would be my hope. So that's my story.